What happens when a country designed to fight short, sharp wars finds itself stuck in a war with no end? What if your army is strong but your goals keep expanding? Your enemies multiply and your allies lose patience. And your prime minister is clinging to power even as missiles rain down. This isn't just one of the wars fought by Israel in its history. It's a global gamble with global consequences. Because Gaza isn't just about Hamas. Iran isn't just a shadow enemy. And Israel isn't just a country. It sits on one of the most strategically vital crossroads in the world. In this video, we'll explore how Israel's war has spiraled into a high-risk multi-front conflict, why Netanyahu's future is deeply tied to the war's duration, how Israel's geography connects to global trade and great power rivalries, and the ticking clock of Israel's demographic dilemma, its real existential threat. Let's dive in. For decades, Israel fought short wars with limited aims. In 1967, 6 days. In 73, a few weeks. Even the Lebanon invasions were meant to be contained. The principle was clear: strike hard and fast, avoid international pressure, don't get stuck. But after the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack, that logic collapsed. Israel launched its most sustained military campaign since its founding. Cities in Gaza were leveled. Tens of thousands were killed, millions displaced. Hamas infrastructure was damaged, but not eliminated. The declared goal kept shifting: destroy Hamas, dismantle its tunnels, remake Gaza, attack Hezbollah, extend the presence in Syria, reshape Palestinian governance. But here's the problem: when goals become unlimited, victory becomes impossible. Military strategists warn, without a defined political endgame, a war becomes a cycle. Israel risks turning Gaza into its Afghanistan, an endless conflict draining resources and legitimacy. While eyes were on Gaza, the West Bank quietly edged towards collapse. In Jenin, Nablus, and Tulkarem, Israeli raids intensified. Settler violence surged. The Palestinian Authority, old, unpopular, seen as corrupt, started to fracture. In 2025, Israel launched what analysts dubbed Operation Iron Wall, a sweeping campaign across the northern West Bank. Palestinian Authority forces, under pressure, cooperated with Israeli units. The result? Rage, resentment, and rebellion. The Palestinian Authority's legitimacy, already weak, has all but disappeared. If it falls, there's no firewall left between Israel and another Hamas-controlled territory, this time 5 times larger than Gaza. Then Israel turned on Hezbollah, moving into Lebanon, only to return again into Gaza, and now shifting east to Iran. For years, Iran and Israel treated each other as convenient enemies. Iran used Israel to justify its regional expansion and internal repression. Israel used Iran to justify security crackdowns and global military outreach. But in 2025, the shadow war turned real. Israel launched direct airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, a move seen as bold, risky, and maybe self-defeating. Because here's the fallout. Instead of stopping Iran's nuclear ambitions, the attack confirmed Tehran's worst fears, that only a nuclear bomb can guarantee the regime's survival. And even if Israel were to pursue regime change, a not-so-secret desire, it might not remove this conviction. It might even deepen it. Iran is now pushing its program deeper underground into bunkers, hidden labs, protected by Russian and Chinese systems. A diplomatic deal could stop it, but who negotiates with someone who just bombed your reactors? Gaza, the West Bank, Iran, Lebanon, Yemen, Syria, Iraq. Israel is now directly or indirectly engaged on 7 fronts, each with different enemies, different threats, different timelines. But one common problem: overextension. Israel's historic strength has been its ability to act quickly, decisively, and locally. Now, it's spread thin militarily, diplomatically, and psychologically. And here's what's at stake: Israel's vital role in the sunny Israel strategic axis, a quiet partnership with the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia, is weakening. Because every day this war continues, those Arab governments face growing pressure from their own people, and Israel starts looking less as a partner and more like a problem. If that axis breaks, Israel loses more than support. It loses its place in the regional power equation, which brings us to Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's longest-serving prime minister. A political survivor, and now a man on trial for corruption while leading his country through war. A divided country where many warn their strong political crisis might just be around the corner. Here's the uncomfortable truth: the longer the war lasts, the safer Netanyahu is politically. The protests over judicial reform, gone. The backlash over intelligence failures before October 7, forgotten, at least temporarily. His court cases delayed. Critics say Netanyahu isn't just fighting Hamas, he's fighting for his own political career and survival. And war is his shield. Is it deliberate? Maybe not, but the incentives are clear. A ceasefire could reignite public anger. Peace could mean prosecution. So ask yourself, does he have more gain from peace or from war? Let's zoom out. Why should this war matter to the West beyond humanitarian tragedy or historical ties? Because the old reasons like guilt over the Holocaust or oil-based alliances are fading. New generations don't feel the same historical connection, and oil, the world is slowly transitioning away from it. But Israel still matters. Why? Geography. The Suez Canal handles over 12% of global maritime trade, and just north of it lies Israel, a vital piece in the global trade puzzle. The planned India-Middle East-Europe corridor, IMEC, backed by the US and the European Union, envisions a trade line stretching from India through the Arab Peninsula across Jordan and into North Israel via the port of Haifa. But here's the catch: the corridor only works if there's peace. No investor will put billions into a war zone. And then there's the Eastern Mediterranean: gas pipelines, shipping lanes, energy reserves. Israel isn't just a military power, it's a logistics hub, a strategic choke point, a critical node in the future of global commerce. So yes, the world still has a stake in it. But Israel faces a quieter, more long-term threat: demography. Its Jewish population is shrinking in relative terms. The Palestinian birth rate, both in the West Bank and among Arab Israelis, is higher. And behind the chaos, some in Israel's far right openly admit war displaces Palestinians. The more they live, the less the demographic problem they are. But that logic leads down a dark road. Forced displacement isn't just a moral failure, it means ethnic cleansing, which is a crime in international law. And in the long run, it doesn't solve the numbers. Let's look at the region. Israel, just under 10 million people, about 7 million Jews, while Israelis, Arabs, and Muslim neighbors, including Turkey, total over 250 million people, more than 35 times its Jewish population. In the long run, Israel cannot win a demographic war. It must win a diplomatic one. The only way to survive is not to conquer, it is to coexist, to find a regulated, peaceful relation with its neighbors that it cannot outnumber and it cannot ignore. So where does Israel go from here? It can try to crush every enemy, hold every front, and silence every critic. But history shows empires fall when they mistake strength for immunity. Or Israel can pivot it, define clear objectives, exit Gaza with a political plan, avoid regional war with Iran, and choose a leadership that seeks peace not as a weakness, but as survival. This war is a gamble, and the house always wins, unless you know when to fold. Until next time, stay informed, critical, and sharp.